Hi friends, I'm Olga Koelsch and welcome back to my studio. Today we are going to explore yellow color. It's one of the most challenging colors in watercolor and I hope I can give you some tips how to handle it. Painting with yellow paints, painting yellow objects, considering to be one of the biggest challenge when we paint with watercolor because of several problems, and now let's have a look at them. One of the first problems with yellow is that it does not allow you to create a wide value scale, or easier to say, the scale, the big difference between darks. This is the darkest of yellow, and when we try to dilute it and create light, the difference would not be that big as with other colors. For example, if we have a look at the green colors, you can see the big difference between darkest and lightest points, darkest and lightest points. This is not the case with yellow. It's very difficult to add contrast. For example, when we paint transparent flowers, when we paint some yellow fruits, it's very challenging because we create the volume, the idea of 3D volume in the object with the help of balancing darks and lights. The other problem with yellows, yellow color easily gets dirty or feels dirty. Here we have to consider two things. What are exactly we are painting? Whether we painting an illustration, a flower on a white background, we will have one story because painting botanical art, botanical illustration does not consider any color reflections from the environment, so we can stay within our clear colors. But if we would like to paint some environmental things, for example, landscapes or the most yellow still life I found, and you see everything interacts. Once we include the environment into our picture, that creates all the reflections and shades, and all objects are, so to say, communicating with each other. So when we are painting with yellow, it's very important how to make yellow darker. It's not possible to make yellow darker as it is in the palette without changing its features. But there is a trick, and usually in your palettes you usually have two yellows. One, very often it's lemon yellow, and the second one is Gamboge. It's the same paints just squeezed into these palettes. And to extend your value scale for yellows, you can start your scale with a lighter yellow. The lightest one usually is the lemon, everything what calls lemon yellow. They are the lightest paints in watercolor, and then you gradually add your second yellow, and then you increase the density. So you get rid of the water and make your yellow bright. Now we will get much larger scale within yellows, because basically this middle part is a mix of two yellows. We can make yellow darker if we add the next color according to the rainbow scheme or according to the color wheel. So if they move into that direction, that will be yellow, and yellow orange is already darker than just yellow. If we start to mix very gradually, just with a hint, because we paint, our goal is to keep yellow, not shift it too much into orange. So if we gradually add a little bit of orange into our yellow, it will allow us also to make our mix darker, but at the end it will change our color into orange. But you can use this middle part for to make some parts darker and more contrast. It's very important to remember that it is not possible to make yellow color both darker and brighter. You will lose one of the features. That's the problem with this color. It can't be dark and bright. There are three possibilities to make yellow darker with desaturating the color. First, if we mix yellow with a complementary color, and for yellow it will be violet color. When we mix colors, it's very important to remember about proportions, right? Because we still want to have our object yellow. So therefore, if we mix with the complementary violet, we need to add just a hint, just a small little drop of complementary color. And let's see how it will be. So that's our clean yellow. With a little bit of violet, our yellow will look like this. It's already lost its brightness. Second way to desaturate yellow and make it darker is to mix it with earthy tones. Here you can play around with what you have in your palette. We can mix it, for example, with raw sienna. Raw sienna. So when we mix our yellow with raw sienna, it will basically turn into orange. Just a little bit more on the autumn side, so to say. And if we use something different, for example, burnt sienna. Burnt sienna, it's very bright brown color, classic in earthy tones. So once we mix our yellow with a hint of burnt sienna, we will get a little bit lighter version of burnt sienna. And be careful when you go this way. Be careful with adding too much of earthy tones. In some cases, when you paint yellow objects, yellow flowers, that can add the autumnal feeling, or your fruits can look a little bit rotten. But for example, that can be great for painting sunflowers, which already has that's autumn flowers, and they have that touch of brownish in them. The third way to desaturate a yellow will be to mix it. You can now try to guess what we will get. If we mix yellow and black, we would not get black, we would not get yellow, we will get something very olive green. So that's a great way to get a nice, bright, crispy olive green color. So as you already can see, there is no way to make yellow darker as it is without losing its brightness. But that can be fine because, for example, let's imagine you painting a lemon. You paint in a lemon. I will go just very simple. Light comes there. Here is light reflection on one side. And now you want to paint the darker part. And you decided to add shades, so to say, with mixing with violet, as your teacher told you. And you get this dirty part. But it doesn't look so great, right? But as I said, it's all about the environment. There are basically two ways of painting watercolors, of painting objects, whether you paint on white background purposefully or you paint the whole scene. So, and once you place your lemon into some some background on, so to say. You place your lemon on some table. Look how suddenly bright and shiny this part is, this shady part is. It was very rough, quick, simple example how the environment changes their perception of the colors. Thank you so much for painting with me. I hope it was useful. I hope you got some new tips how to handle yellow color, and leave me feedback in comments. What yellow objects are the most complicated for you to paint? Which yellow things, objects, flowers you would like to paint together? Would you like to dive more into colors? Maybe you would like to explore another color. And see you next time. Bye bye.